And I'm telling you that you have to have permission to do what you're doing.
I do.
And you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is this a public place, officer? Is this
with a trespass? Because I'm not going to argue with this guy. Okay.
You do understand if you trespass me from a public place that you're violating my rights and you lose qualified immunity, right?
Do you have identification?
No, sir, I don't. I gave you my identification.
That was my favorite part of the video. There's a lot of good things about this video, but that was my favorite part because that's what I've been advocating for a while, is to get rid of qualified immunity. And I want to tell you guys something. Just getting rid of qualified immunity alone is not going to fix the problems of policing in America. We need to get rid of police unions. We need to get rid of internal investigations. We need to have civilian oversight. So when the cops make mistakes, we need to make them pay for their own insurance. So when that they make mistakes, the insurance comes out of their pockets, not the tax dollars. So I'm going to keep advocating for those types of things. And I will tell you guys something else. Until your politician, whether he's on the left or whether he's on the right, unless they're speaking on these things, I wouldn't trust them, because that is probably one of the only things that can fix policing in America, or at least ease tensions and see where it goes from there. A colleague of mine said something that I thought was pretty brilliant. He said, it seemed like police was a good idea, but a failed experiment. And it seems like that's what all of this is. And another thing that I would like to mention, let's also get rid of absolute immunity for judges, public defenders, prosecuting attorneys, and district attorneys, and all that. Let's get rid of qualified immunity and absolute immunity. Let's start holding our officials accountable, because it's not fair that they get to make mistakes and that you don't.
Sir. Hi.
Hello, sir. How are you? How you
What's
doing?
going on?
What do you mean?
Just, what are you doing? You taking pictures?
Yeah, I'm working on a story. I'm filming. I don't understand.
What story are you working on?
This is me. You want it?
You're Smyrna Times?
Okay, I'm working on a story. I don't understand.
I'm just asking you a question.
6 feet, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
So, what's the deal?
This is your card?
Yes, sir. You can have it.
Can I have it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So, what kind of story are you working on?
I see the investigative part. I'm not at liberty to disclose. My editor would fire me. I can't talk about it right now.
Okay.
Kind of like you guys, if you have an investigation going on, you can't discuss it while it's going on. So.
Okay. Yeah. And
So do you guys work here at the airport?
we do.
Have you noticed like a decline? I mean, has it picked back up since the governor's kind of eased restrictions and gone into phase 2, or has it? I mean, what's the traffic been like?
Well, I don't really have the numbers or the knowledge of what that's.
Well, I mean, just like based on your usual beat type stuff.
I couldn't say.
Okay.
Couldn't say.
Okay. All right. No worries.
Couldn't say.
Is there anything else that you might be interested that you'd like to tell the viewers about the airport? Anything they should know
I mean,
during these times?
It's open.
What's that?
It's open.
Okay. All right.
Have you been here before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hey, with that same equipment, and you've done the same thing?
Yes, sir.
Now, this newscast, where will we be able to view this?
If you have a card, I can email you the information when I'm finished.
Just asking,
No, but I'd be more than happy to email you the info. Like I said, I'm just not able to discuss it right
Will this
now.
be on YouTube
It could
or
be my job. I really can't discuss it. It could be my job. So, I've got kids to feed. But I'm going to go ahead and continue on over here because I'm about finished. So, if you want, like I said, I'll take a card and I'll be more than happy to email you the info.
Nah, that's
No?
not necessary.
All right. Well, you guys have a great day. Thank you.
If you could, would you mind standing by? I have some authorities of the airport, the property custodian.
Okay.
That might want to have a word with you. So do you mind just hanging out for a few
Yeah, I'm going to just be right around here. I'm not going out of this general area here.
minutes? Just stay right here.
No, I just need to finish up. I'm on a time schedule. Let me grab my phone real quick. See what time it is. Yeah, it's already 10:15, so I'm going to be getting out of here at about 10:30, 10:45, so I can get back in time. So I'm just going to be right around here, and then I won't go anywhere. Don't worry.
Okay.
I'll be more than happy to talk to you, because like I said, if you want some information, I get it for you.
You got it.
All right.
Sir?
Yes, sir.
How are you?
Good. How are you?
This gentleman wants to have a word with you. He
Sure.
wants to know what you're doing, what's going on. He's
Yeah.
custodian
Okay, 6
of
feet,
the
please.
airport.
6 feet, please.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So what's the question?
First of all,
Yes,
my
sir.
name is Brian. I'm with the authority here.
Yes, sir.
What are you doing?
I don't want to be a smart aleck, but what do you mean? I just spoke with these gentlemen and gave
Yeah,
them.
but-
I'm filming.
You need to speak with him. He has the authority to ask those questions.
Yeah.
No, I don't understand. What,
Well, you need to stop what you're doing.
when did this become a private airport? This is a public place, right? We're allowed to film in public. I mean, that's First Amendment. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing illegal is happening here, sir. You said your name was what? I'm sorry, you introduced yourself.
Yeah, it's John Brian Singleton.
Yes, sir. And you do what here?
And I am in the operations.
Okay,
And I'm telling you that you have to have permission to do what you're doing,
I do.
and you don't.
I do.
No, you don't.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Is this a public
We
place,
can go ahead
officer?
and
Is
go
this?
ahead with a trespass because I'm not going to argue with this guy.
You do understand if you trespass me from a public place that you're violating my rights and you lose qualified immunity, right?
Do you have identification?
No, sir, I don't. I gave you my identification.
We can do a John Doe.
You understand you're violating the law right now. Can I get a supervisor out here, please?
He's on his way.
A supervisor on his way. May I please have your name for the record since this is turning into something it doesn't need to be? Miss, I have readers that are unable to read. May I please have your name per department policy? Will you please verbalize it? Will you please verbalize your name and ID number for department policy?
What department?
I'm asking you for a public records request under the Florida Government and the Sunshine Manual. You're required as a public official to disclose information you have readily available. I'm asking you to disclose your name and badge number,
Here's
please.
my information.
Thank you. Sir, may I have your information, or you could verbalize it? Your call.
Same thing, I'm gonna give you a card, okay? Where you gonna have?
Thank you. May I have cards from you officers as well, please? Or you can just verbalize it. I don't need to take your resources.
My name is right here.
I have viewers that are not able to read, sir. That's why they watch videos, because they can't read. Barnett, what'd you say?
Barnett.
And your ID number, please?
This is the one you need to know.
34223.
34223.
3448.
And your name again, sir? Please, for the record.
Evans, Officer Evans.
Thank you very much.
You got it.
Now, again, Mr. Singleton, what exactly am I doing wrong?
What's your first name?
Fox.
Your last name? Your first name is Fox?
First name's Fox.
And your last name is Parjan?
Tarzan.
Okay.
Call me Doc Fox.
What's your date of birth?
You're not going to give that, sir.
Okay.
Okay. Not a problem.
You understand it's a violation of the Bain Act, right? You're not able to interfere with journalists working on a story. This is a constitutionally protected activity, sir. In a public place.
Sir?
Public.
All this that you're doing, I do this every day. This is part of my job. You're being trespassed from the airport, okay?
For what crime?
Crime, let's just make it loitering.
Loitering? No, I have a purpose. Can I have a purpose? You can't do loitering. Loitering's not allowed.
You're being trespassed.
For what reason? Excuse me? Chapter A. What's Chapter A? Municipal Code. So you're going to criminalize a constitutionally protected activity. That's what you're saying?
Do you have the trespass running?
Yeah, we're doing it.
We're doing it
We're
right
starting
now.
it right now.
So where's the supervisor that's allowing this to happen? Because I see no stripes on anybody's arms
He's
here.
on his way.
I see no stripes whatsoever, guys. So now we're doing B-roll footage. It looks like the original story is going to get scrapped, or at least we'll recognize what we can. Are you trying to get a picture? Want to get a picture?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Does that work? Good. Also going to need a P number. I'm going to request all of this information as public records, including that photo that you just took. Sir, can I review that image, public records request? Sure. May I please review the image so we can go ahead and show it? Yes, I'd like to make sure that it's not altered or anything like that. Perfect. Anything like that. Perfect. Thank you very much.
Wow.
This guy actually knows how to comply with public records. He knows a little bit of something. 119.07, by the way, if you guys are curious as to what makes it a crime for a public official not to. Loitering. Can you look up the statute for that? You understand that's unlawful. I'll be going over to the Orlando Police Department next to file a complaint. Show me the Florida statute for loitering and prowling. I have to be somewhere without a purpose. I gave you guys a business card to show you what I did.
Do you have an address, sir?
And a place or time or manner not usual for law-abiding individuals.
Sir.
Not answering your question. Law-abiding individuals are here under circumstances that warrant justifiable and reasonable alarm or immediate concern for the safety of persons in the vicinity. So exactly how am I loitering, guys? Can you read that statute and tell me how I'm loitering? Before you sign your name on that, boss, you might want to wait for your supervisor.
Yeah, he doesn't take his orders from you.
You guys are... Oh, actually, he does. He's a public servant. I pay his salary, bud. I also pay part of your salary.
I appreciate that.
I hope you do.
I need a raise, too. Yeah, party sign. That's fine. We just get something on the date of birth, the height, weight, eye color. You can go for it.
Can I please have your name for the record? You seem to be a cool cop.
Sorry, buddy. I am cool.
May I have your name, please? It ends in a vowel, so you can't be that bad.
Don Lucy,
Lucy? And what's the badge number, please?
2311.
There's the example, guys. I don't know why he doesn't have stripes. Because his name ends in a vowel, probably. When might the supervisor get here? You can get your name either, officer. Could I please have your name for the record? ID number?
Officer Garcia,
Oh, yeah.
ID number, please.
34966.
Thank you. All right, so body cams. We have Officer Jones with body cam running. We have Officer Mallard. She didn't pronounce it, so I don't know how to say it, guys. Sorry, we'll just butcher it with her body cam running. Officer Garcia's got his body cam running.
The legal advisor.
Officer Barnett has his body cam running. Officer Evans has his body cam running. I don't think Lawsy's got it running, if I'm pronouncing it. Lucy? Lucy. I don't think he's got it running,
Are you looking for
so
what?
that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 body cam footages we're going to be able to get from these guys, folks. So we will.
Yeah, Mr. Harjan.
Yes.
You're being trespassed from the Orlando International Airport for a period of 1 year
Okay.
for loitering and kind of being disrespectful to the authority that's around you.
Oh, I was being disrespectful. How
On
so?
your copy, you have the number that you have to call before you come to the airport to get permission to be here. If you don't do that and you're spotted here, you can be subject to arrest on the spot.
Right. It has to be an officer
You
that
understand
it has to be an officer that sees me on the property.
No, it doesn't. It can be me.
Are you a law enforcement officer? I suggest
can
you.
be.
I suggest
I can be.
you can. You're a duly sworn law
I can
enforcement
be.
officer. So
So
you took an oath
you've
to
been
uphold the
told-
Constitution, and you're still violating the First Amendment.
Sir, you've been told.
You're dismissed.
the
Where's the
arrangement-
supervisor,
Oh, I'm
please?
dismissed. Okay. No,
Where's
you're
the
dismissed.
supervisor? She said the supervisor's coming. I'm waiting for the supervisor. I'm not going to make him chase me.
No problem. Excuse me, sir.
No, you good.
He's on his way.
Thank you.
I have everything I need.
All right, thank you.
Loitering and prowling. Oh, Vince Pulowski, megajustice.com. That's who you're going to be hearing from. Vince Pulowski, megajustice.com. You guys just criminalized a constitutionally protected activity. Did you realize that Smith v. Cumming, the 11th Circuit, which governs Florida, Georgia, and Alabama, ruled that citizens have a right to film their public officials in the course of their public duties for matters of public interest? 11th Circuit, it's already ruled on this. 2000, Smith v. Cumming. Look it up. You just violated the law. Qualified immunity doesn't apply. I gave you that information on 1, 2, 3, 4 different cameras. Yet you guys still chose to violate the law. And not a single one of you is saying anything about it. You think it's okay. So we'll find out if it's okay. We got one guy. This guy. Guy wearing shorts with a tan whose name ends in a vowel. He knows how to do stuff, guys. That's the example. One compliment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Mr. I can be a law enforcement officer if I want to over there. That'll be interesting to hear him explain that one. Of course, he could lie in the deposition, although under oath that would be perjury, a felony as well. It's funny how they uphold laws, but don't seem to know the laws they're upholding. Let's go ahead and pull up that loitering and prowling so you guys can view it. That's all about state loitering and prowling.
According to you, say that weapon.
Alright guys, so while we're waiting, 856.021, I'll put it on the screen. It is unlawful for any person to loiter or prowl in a place at a time or in a manner not usual for law-abiding individuals. You can see the airport's open, folks. So, It's a manner for law-abiding individuals. Check. That under circumstances that warrant a justifiable and reasonable alarm or immediate concern for the safety of persons or property in the vicinity. Well, we've been rolling film this whole time, and the courts have already ruled that you cannot criminalize a constitutionally protected activity. Cannot criminalize a lawful activity. Among the circumstances which may be considered in determining whether such alarm or immediate concern is warranted is the fact if the person takes flight. Didn't do that. Refuses to identify. Gave him a business card before they asked. Manifestly endeavors to conceal himself or herself or any object. I smiled for the camera and showed you guys that picture he took. So, unless flight or other circumstances makes it impractical, a law enforcement officer shall, prior to any arrest for an offense under this section, afford the person an opportunity to dispel any alarm or immediate concern which would otherwise be warranted by requesting the person to identify himself or herself and explain his or her presence and conduct. Check, check, and check. No person shall be convicted of an offense under this section if the law enforcement officer did not comply with this procedure or if it appears at trial that the explanation given by the person is true and if believed by the officer at the time would have dispelled any alarm or immediate concern. That's what you guys just wrote me up for. And none of you seem to see a problem with that, correct? You guys think that's completely fine? You abided by that law? You upheld your constitutional oath that you guys swore when you signed on with the department? Okay, that's good. That's what we got, folks.
So you're saying you were just convicted of something?
No, I wasn't convicted of anything.
That's what that just explained.
How did that explain?
You're being trespassed. That's completely different.
I'm in a place where I'm allowed to be, sir. You can go ahead and give us your information and tell us what you know. Mine comes from the Northwestern California School of Law. Where's yours come from? Come on, Redbeard. Don't give up on me now. Giving up on me now. Is your supervisor coming from like Church Street or what?
Right there. Yeah, right there.
Excuse me? Are you ready for me? I didn't want to interrupt to be rude, as this guy is already, as first happened, sir.
Asked to leave by the airport.
Right, and do you understand that's for loitering and prowling is what they wrote it for? Are you familiar with the loitering and prowling statute? Because the very first thing I did was identify myself. When they came up, I've dispelled any kind of fears or anything like that, and I'm in a public place. So you're trespassing me from a public place while I'm engaged in a constitutionally protected activity.
Not a public place.
They receive public funding. This is a public place. They receive public funding. No, sir.
You need to review the municipal code of the city of Orlando.
Okay.
Which authorizes them to have.
I'll go ahead and leave under the threat of arrest. You guys have given me documentation that I need. Vince Pulowski.
Around our airport filming. I asked him if he had permission.
I do.
He gave me some kind of bogus business card that doesn't have our logo on it. So that's the reason, along with the loitering, he's been trespassed for a period of 1 year.
You're
Master Sergeant,
welcome to have activity here, but you have to have GO to approve it first.
Are you familiar?
And that's.
Let me just ask you one question. I'll head out.
This is a private entity.
Okay, that's what you believe, and we're going to educate some folks. Either I'm going to get an education and find out that this place is a private entity, or everyone here is going to get an education and find out that it's public, and I'll be back in less than a year filming right outside your office.
Yes, sir.
You understand that, right?
Right now, you need to leave the property.
I'm going to do that, and as I said, I just want to say one last thing to you. I told these officers that 2000, the 11th District ruled in Smith v. Cumming, which governs Florida, Alabama, and Georgia, that individuals are allowed to record their public officials in the course of their public duty for matters of public interest, which is what I was doing here at TSA. So it's already been ruled upon by the courts. It's prior restraint. It's a violation of the Bain Act, and you're not allowed to do this. I'm just making sure that it's on record for everybody's body cam that it's been said like 4 or 5 times of what you guys are doing. Okay, Vince Pulowski, megajustice.com. You guys will see what happens after this.
Thank you guys. I'll see you on the next video.